Sweeping floors to leading a North American business empire, Sam Mercanti has picked up a thing or two. He shares those lessons in Risen from the Shop Floor, Lessons from an Entrepreneur. And Sam joins us this morning in the very same suit that you're on in the cover of your book. You want to hold up the cover of your book there with the...
Here we are. It's exactly the same.
Same suit, except I notice you're not wearing your star pin.
The star is missing, and I know that. You know, my daughters are my bosses right now, and I know that when they see that, they're going to
give you poop. You said.
Yeah, they're going to give me heck, right?
That's awesome. So in this book, it's a memoir. You talk about let's talk about your first job, because that kind of started the basis of everything.
Sure. I mean, you know, when you work in a body shop, you don't know how to do anything, so they had me sweeping the floors. And there's an art to sweeping floors and how you do it right, because I tried it my way, and my uncle said, no, that's not the way you do it. So from sweeping floors, then you start detailing, cleaning the vehicles after they're painted, taking the tape off and making it look presentable. Then into sanding and body work, but yeah, sweeping floors was my first lesson.
Yeah, and you're still certified to repair
I still
cars.
have my bodyman's license.
Yes.
And I've kept it going. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I can fix a car today, but I would have a good idea on how to do it.
Right. It details, see what I did there,
Right.
kind of your rise from, you know, having Ontario Auto Collision, which when I read a bang-up job every time, I'm like, I still remember that, that logo.
Right.
But it goes into how you ended up owning Carstar.
Right.
And that's a huge jump.
Yes. I mean, what happened, prior to Carstar, we had 8 locations under Ontario Auto Collision. Mm-hmm. And it was going great, but we were in startup franchising, which is a lot harder. I heard about this company in Overland Park, Kansas City, doing conversion franchising. They would approach somebody that already was in the collision business to say, do you want to become part of something bigger? We're going to create this great brand. So I goes, what a great idea. So after 7-8 visits, I got to go see the owner. And after 7-8 visits, I was awarded the rights for Carstar for Canada.
Right, right. And you realized that things in Canada were a little bit different.
Totally different.
Part of the lessons learned.
You know what? We have a different culture. And what they told me to do didn't work in Canada. We had to go and approach everyone one by one and sell them. You can't put them in a room, create a big rah-rah and let's go together. No, Canada, one by one.
Right, even different regions of Canada were very different.
Totally. I mean, the way business is done in Ontario is different than the way it's done in BC and Alberta. Our biggest lesson was going into Quebec. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they have more of a European culture, like I'm Italian, right? And boy, that was a big lesson. But, and even in the East Coast, they called us farm away, and they don't trust anybody that's not from their region.
So you have to gain that trust.
We had to hire people from there to work for Carstar to get the ball going.
Right. You also talk about a couple of ventures, other business ventures that failed. So you were in the clothing business for a short time, and you were in the chicken business for a short time. And it's funny because I remember both of those businesses.
Oh, you do? That's right. Well, okay. You know what? Yeah, the clothing business was a good friend of mine that I had, Louis Chapetta, and he said, Sam, do you want to open up a clothing business? I'm going, Lou, you know what? I know nothing about clothing, but if you think it's a good idea, I threw in 50% of the money, and we opened up Hoagie Carmichael at Hess Village, and we didn't make any money. Yeah. But we were dressed good.
Yes. So that was one of your lessons, because one of the big lessons is don't buy into or don't invest in things that you don't know about.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the chicken business, a lawyer friend of mine, Jack Pellick. He shouldn't have been a lawyer. He should have been a businessman. He got me into the chicken business. Later on, got me into the hockey business. Yeah. So lessons learned, but you're right. And you know what? don't get into something you don't know.
Right. In all, and we've got like less than a minute left, but you've got 50 lessons in there at the end of the book, kind of summed up, because it's almost meant as a textbook for business students and students of life as well. So I learned a few tidbits in there, and the number one rule is family, right?
100%. Family, not your own family, but when you have people working for you, you have to include them, make them part of the family. So all my team was part of my family. Like, I love them with my heart. My franchise partners that helped me, from the first franchisee in Stony Creek to, the 240th one, you got to love them.
Yeah.
And you have to look after them like your own.
Okay. Risen from the Shop Floor, Sam Mercanti's new book is out now, and it's available now. And we should mention, we've run out of time, but all proceeds go to cystic fibrosis. So thanks very much for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you,
job.
Annette. Thank you.